Hello and welcome to another Reality Remake video. For more from Reality Remake, check out the other videos on our channel or go to realityremake.com. Now let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about A Township Tale and how it can be played solo. Now, A Township Tale is primarily meant to be a multiplayer RPG experience. The developers at least say that it is meant to be played that way. The mechanics clearly show that a lot of hands are meant to work together to achieve the goals of a burgeoning town in a fantasy wilderness. Crafting items, cooking food, collecting resources, fighting monsters. All of these things are meant to be specialized roles that players can excel at. In the end, it seems that the goal of the mechanics of A Township Tale is to create a specialized labor economy of sorts. A fun specialized labor economy, but specialized nonetheless. The experience system also lends itself to that. Do one thing more, get more perks and abilities to help to do that one thing. But what if that's not your bag? What if you don't like to play with others, or don't know anyone you would like to play the game with, or would find the experience of exploring and building a town more relaxing on your own? Is A Township Tale simply not for you? If you'd like to find others to play the game with, just join a server, or look on the subreddit. There are loads of people willing to teach you the game and have a fun time in it. For those who prefer solo play, we will answer those questions here and possibly show you a path forward to a, if not bustling, at least well-constructed town. I would also like to note that this video is for the Oculus or Meta Quest version of the game, which does not currently have the same amount of features as the PC VR version. However, the beginning of the game is still largely the same, so you won't have to worry no matter which version you're playing on. As we've already covered here at Reality Remake, A Township Tale has horrible tutorials. A lot of what you need to know will be covered here, but if you ever get stuck on how to do something specific and you just can't figure it out, do yourself a favor and watch a YouTube video about it or read the wiki. There simply isn't enough time in this video to cover everything. Using outside resources are invaluable for figuring out the crafting professions. While gathering and fighting are much more intuitive, especially if you've played other VR games, some of the other game's mechanics, particularly those related to crafting, can be a little difficult to figure out. And don't worry if you'd like some more surprises while you play the game. We won't spoil too much here, just enough to get you started. So you spawn into your new world, wide-eyed and bushy-tailed. Ah, the possibilities, the adventures in store for you. Nothing but you, the open world, and an experience to enjoy. There are sticks, stones, and pieces of flint littered about. All of the resources for basic tools are abundant. There are even pots and crates around, which you can smash open for more limited resources. It's a great time to wander around and get your bearings. Oh, and make sure to watch out for the birds. Soon enough, you'll have wandered through all of the buildings of your township. You may even come across the mines or blocked passages and unbuilt bridges. There seems to be so much to do, but where do you start? Well, as much as you might dream of wandering into the untamed wilderness right off the bat, there are things to be done first to acquire the proper tools in order to do so without death or, worse, a serious lack of inventory slots to hold that sweet, sweet treasure. Keep an eye out for any treasure chests that you do find and visit them often. They can spawn useful items that you can't make yourself yet. More importantly, they also spawn book pages and metal molds to expand your crafting and gathering capabilities. I'll repeat this, visit them often. They'll respawn items every now and then. Early on in most survival games, there are two things which always limit a player and either make work much slower or make areas harder or impossible to explore. Those two things are equipment and inventory slots. The grass backpack you begin with in A Township Tale can hold 6 items, and your belt can hold 4, for a starting measly total of 10 inventory slots. If you've broken any of those pots while exploring your township, you might already feel the pain of leaving useful items scattered about, and the need to run back and forth and store them all on shelves. Without a team of other players, quickly cutting down on the amount of time you spend running back and forth is a top priority. Luckily, one of the few recipes you begin with is to create a leather backpack, which holds 9 item slots instead of 6. First things first though, you have a hunger bar and you need to eat. Time to rustle up some food. You might remember those birds from earlier. Well, get your favorite rusty tool or rock on a stick and get to bashing them. The birds will drop meat, an easy way to get nutrients and a full belly. No need for cauldrons or pots, just toss those pieces of meat near an open flame until they smoke and eventually turn brown. Eat them simply by bringing them up to your face. Carry them with you on the go, and eat anywhere on the go. Of course, that will take up an inventory slot, but now it's time to lessen that particular problem. While you're walking around town, smashing pots and crates, there are a bevy of useful items that you cannot attain in any other way, which you will find. The three you will need most of all to start with are metal buckles, leather straps, and the differently colored rolls of leather. You will need at a minimum 2 leather rolls, 7 leather straps, and 11 metal buckles. Bring as many of these as you can find before you begin, especially the straps and buckles. You will probably break some of them as you're making the backpack. If you thought making the grass and sticks backpack on the tutorial was hard, then making this new backpack brings on a whole new challenge. That is, not breaking pieces off of it when you're hammering in nails. Now, hammering in nails, which, as you might have guessed, is the hardest part of crafting in A Township Tale, is both an art and a science. You must hit them directly, not too hard, and not too soft. Too hard, and you damage the new piece that you were nailing in. Too soft, and your blow will have no effect at all. If you make too many mistakes before hammering in a single nail, you can always remove and re-add the piece to bring it up to full health. If you hammer in a single nail, then you have to either hammer them all in successfully, wait for the piece to pop off by itself, or keep going until you either succeed or break it. Some of these pieces require a lot of nails, so being careful and precise is key. If you tend to hit too hard, use a rock on a stick. If you tend to hit too soft, then one of the many rusty hammers lying around may be easier for you. There are plenty of the required pieces around town to make a single backpack. Remember, if you think you're about to break a piece, just wait for it to fall off on its own and then re-add it to restart. Unless you want to risk it, of course. If the piece that you're hammering in is about to break, then it will shine red. After you're done with your leather backpack, you might still want to save your old grass backpack just in case you perish somewhere, for instance, deep in the mines, with your brand new one, which will cause it to drop on the ground, giving you the option to either run back and get it, or just make do without. Be careful not to leave your old backpack, or any other valuable items for that matter, just lying around. Make sure to leave them on a shelf, otherwise they may disappear over time when your server resets. Now with that done, what to do next? Well, we'll tell you. First, a little bit about how A Township Tale works. A Township Tale gates off new areas, not by requiring a certain particular item to progress, a la the Zelda series, or purely by placing enemies in your way which are difficult to progress past without better equipment. No, A Township Tale presents your access to new areas via labor. To build a bridge to a new zone, you will need to add the materials necessary in order to build it. You will need a lot of these materials. Without anybody else to rely on to assist in getting them, you will want to collect them as efficiently as possible. A piece of flint attached to a stick will work, but it will be slow. So naturally, you will want to acquire better tools as quickly as possible, and the ability to make more when they break. There are 2 buildings in your town that you cannot access right from the start: the woodcutter's hut and the blacksmith. The blacksmith is needed to make metal tools, though metal ore is freely available. Unfortunately, a whopping amount of wood is needed to build the stairs that lead up to the blacksmith. So alright, you just need to go cut down some trees, and off we are to the world of advanced tools. Well, no, there are only decorative trees in town. The trees that can be chopped down in order to get such a large supply of wood are gated behind another labor wall, or rather labor bridge. This is the first one you will likely come across actually, a bridge to the forest near the starting spawn. So, it's time to do some mining, and not for the stones you've been pulling out of the ground. As you'll see in the chest next to where the bridge should be, you need 250 of these white stones, also known as sandstone, which are only found by mining nodes and occasionally in some small amounts in chests. Luckily, you won't need to be mining all of it with just a piece of flint on a stick. A fresh server will also include a pickaxe head and handle right next to the chest in front of the entrance to the mine. Just combine them, and you've got the perfect tool to quickly acquire the sandstone needed to build that bridge. You can also get some copper and coal while you're at it. Saving any gray stones you find is also a good idea, as you will need a wagon load of them later on in order to access the skill shrine next to the mines. A good deal of both sandstone and copper nodes can be found just around the entrance to the mine, as well as on the first level of them. Just a quick note on mining, it is much more efficient to break open a lot of rocks at once, and then stoop over to pick up all the stones and ores in one fell swoop. If you very thoroughly explore the overworld, you can find just barely all of the white stone needed to build the bridge. Just barely. Otherwise, you will need to take a step down into the mines. Especially if you'd like to shake things up a little bit with adventure and danger, then you definitely should. The mines are very, very dark. Your torches will go out, And if you don't like to put your torch on the ground while you're swinging your pick, you can always put a piece of dry grass on top of your flint on a stick and have both a light source and mining tool in one. Now, it'll be a slower mining tool, but still, it works. If you plan on going down deep and possibly need a quick escape, you may want to bring one of the purple teleport potions if you found one in the pots and chests inside town. There is also a chest just inside the entrance to the mine, and as with all chests, it is best to check it periodically for new items and recipes. If you want those sweet ores and sandstone, though, you'll need to go down an ominous staircase to the first level of the mines. The darkness swallows you in the depths, sound echoes off of the walls, and you will hear scraping coming from further within. Unless you're really ready for a fight, then don't go too deep and stay to the first level of the mines. The rock monsters that are further down hit like trucks and can take a beating. Gather the white stones that you need, or rather, sandstone, first and foremost, and try to leave with your skin intact. There are also some more chests and crates to be looted as well. If you've got the stomach to go deeper, there are even more. When you have collected the sandstone necessary to build the bridge, then congratulations, you've passed your first labor gate. It will get easier. Put the rocks in the chest and watch as magic assembles your way forward. Further in, you will find the woodcutter's hut and a bevy of rusted tools laying about. Don't bother with them. A proper axe is tucked into a log further down the path. As with the pickaxe earlier, this will make gathering a lot faster. You will see that some trees have different bark and tend to stand up a little straighter than the decorative trees you've seen thus far. These can be chopped down just like the ones in the tutorial. Also, make sure you bring a shield, as big a shield as you have found so far. Some of those trees will fight back. The first big area containing a lot of harvestable trees will also have a large amount of these enemies. The first couple of trees can be harvested without attracting their attention, but the quickest way to get the lumber needed to access the blacksmith is to take them out. Hope you brought your shield, because they like to shoot spores at you. Hold your shield up to block the spores, and then whack them with your axe. Also being made of wood, they will drop wood as well, along with some of the strange spores that they fire at you. You might as well take all of them. With the creatures gone and a few large trees chopped into wedges, you should have more than enough to build the staircase to the blacksmith. Once you've added all the items needed for that, congratulations once more! You've cleared the second labor gate and can now access every crafting building in the town. A world of new tools and weapons awaits you. Thank you for watching. This has been Reality Remake. Check out more from us at realityremake.com or in the other videos on this channel. Have a good one.